thing the ego does is this. It says, I still want to hang around, but this brother is going towards enlightenment. So what it'll do is it will become these practices, these tools, it will become the thing that you seek to better yourself. It will become that. So what happens is you get a lot of people, they'll get into the diet on one level, then the diet becomes a religion. And the next thing you know, they start reading more and more boxes, and then they start getting consumed by it. And their level of knowledge dissipates for the simple fact that they have tapped in, the ego has taken them into one avenue, and it's a balance. You have to have several avenues. That's why I say you got to be open with this thing. So as a result, you have to have it's called a middle pillar. That's when you see the scales or the wings of Ma'at. It's a balancing thing, whereas two extremes, one extreme is just as bad as the other. So a lot of people are getting so caught up on the strict diet to the point where it consumes them, and then that's all they immerse in, and then their knowledge level diminishes. You see what I'm saying? So don't get caught in these things. Don't take no tool, roll with everything. You see what I'm saying? And that way you get to the foundation. You see. Okay. So everything is good in moderation. That's what they mean by it. Okay. But the whole concept here is to say, well, we need to detox and all this. That means you're telling your mind that there's something wrong with the body. No. What it is you can program the mind. I talked about one time I was catching a cold and took a damn peach soda with nothing. That wasn't nothing but sugar and water. And I said that the peach soda was going to act and it was going to cure my cold. And the peach soda knocked the cold out in like 3 seconds. You see what I'm saying? That's because all of the things that I needed was already in my body. And because of my mind, I just used the peach soda as a placebo to activate the healing processes and the metabolistic stuff, metabolic stuff in my body that kicked in and did that in the first place, you see? So that's what we're talking about. There's higher levels of things. Okay. And so therefore always, always keep an open mind. Okay. Yeah, okay. And nothing is impossible. Your own mind can be the access to all of this. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Thank you.
All right, Doc.
Thank you,
all right.
caller.
Yes.
Okay, we down to our last 9 minutes, and this is area code 718. Are you on? 718. Let me try it again. Hello, 718. Okay, Bobby, tell them again where they can.
Just go to YouTube. Type in YouTube. Go to YouTube. You'll see me type in Bobby Hemmitt, and there will be a link on YouTube linking you to the actual MindSpace page, and then we'll go from there. Also, I want to give this particular one thing to end on this Barack Obama thing.
Okay.
There's things that is going on in our body that we have transformed to a certain level, but it's lying dormant because we still thinking that we are people from 20 years ago. And we have changed. Our DNA has changed. So when the body has a change of format, then it opens up things. So in so many words, the things that keep you on lockdown is the everyday thing that you used to that you've been on this planet. So when you get something like a Barack Obama that comes, if he so happens to win the presidency, or even just the Democratic nomination, that's a change. That's a different way of looking at things, and what's going to happen is going to unlock certain latent things that's inside of you. So it's not about Obama. It's about the situation that Obama represents, which is a catalyst that's going to come in you. So he's only a catalyst, he's only an outer representation of a change that's going on in your physical body. You see? Mm-hmm. So we're going to evolve whether we like it or not. And it don't care how many people out there dead. Don't get discouraged. The dead ain't never led nobody nowhere. It's the only divine few that's entrusted with this thing. And the people in this conscious community that we're talking to right now, you are the people. Well, all right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I got this caller. It won't come up. Let me see what they're saying. Someone was saying here in the chat room, so what you're saying is that our body is like an alchemy. It takes a toxin and it can turn it into nutrition.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, but now the deal here is, let me reiterate this. You have to keep on a certain level of consciousness to do this. The dead people, that's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you keep on a path of learning, giving the soul what it needs to remember itself, then the soul will provide for you. So when people say they want to talk to the Lord and the Lord will provide for me, that's actually your soul you're supposed to be dealing with. You see, the soul is the only God in the universe, and we are all one. And it will provide for you, given that you give it knowledge of itself. So keep on the path of understanding, and then what will happen, your body will automatically manifest whatever it is needed for you to heal yourself and raise to another level. Mm-hmm.
And someone else want to know about Mercury and retrograde. We got a few more minutes.
That's an excellent question. Every time we hear this, we have been trained that Mercury in retrograde is bad. That's bad for people who are not Mercury people. The word Mercury comes from another word in alchemical aspect of mercurus. And mercurus is a form of melanin that when you get the physical component, you see that Mercury. But the mercurus, the planet Mercury, that it is named after, is talking about melanin, mercurus. So when Mercury is in retrograde, in actuality, that works for black people, but we have been taught that that's bad, so therefore we focus on that, and as a result, we take the punishment of everybody else. But in actuality, that's one of our times. Just depends on what world you're in. You see what I'm saying? We're in a world where people only use 2% of their brains. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, we've been taught that and believe that, so we think that applies to us, and it doesn't. So Mercury, all you got to do is, if you reprogram and say, well, Mercury's coming in retrograde, that's the time when, for us as black people, when they talk about the mercurous material in alchemy, and alchemy is ultimately the study of melanin, then that's the time when stuff works for us. You can actually reprogram it to work for you. You see what I'm saying? If we are the original people and Mercury is one of the planets, you see what I'm saying? And obviously, we got to be a part of that too.
Right,
you see?
right.
So
right.
therefore, it's like anything else. It just depends on your perspective. So the Mercury in retrograde, if you keep saying it, I'd put it this way. Before you ever knew a Mercury was in retrograde, it never made any difference to you. It was only when you was taught about Mercury being in retrograde that you started abiding by that particular time. You see what I'm saying? And then stuff started coming up, programming and coming up to be messed up. But what about the time when people didn't know about it? Good old black folks. If the concept, but it's actually when you ultimately, it's some stuff that you can program to work for you. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, Bobby, well, we're down to our last few minutes, and I appreciate you being on the show and giving the people the knowledge. And again, could you tell the people where they can find you at on the internet?
Okay, like I said, you can go to YouTube and type in Bobby Hemmitt. There's several things on YouTube. One of those YouTube's going to have a link to a Bobby Hemmitt MySpace page, and you'll be able to find it there. It's a link on there. You automatically go to it. Or to get the tapes right now, because that's going to be in the future dates. But right now, if you want to get it, go to Tahuti Online, right out of Detroit. He sells those particular tapes. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, Bobby Hemmitt, I want to thank you again, and thank you for coming and giving the knowledge to the people again.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it as much as, I enjoyed receiving it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bobby.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.